everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you another floral design painted on a glass wine bottle. I will be using three Amagic paintbrushes. I'm going to be using a number 10, a number 8, and a number 6. These are all flat brushes. We'll be using my favorite fine liner brush, Winstonia nail brush, and then my number 8 Deerfoot Stippler, and last but not least my dotting stylus. Excuse me, getting tongue-tied. The dotting stylus, you can use anything, whether you have a pencil or an end of a paintbrush, whatever you want to use, that's up to you. I will be using all FolkArt paints as usual. I use a combination of enamels and the multi-surface. I am using fresh foliage, wicker white, magenta, licorice, berry wine, real brown, and my last one is pale yellow. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to begin my first layer for this flower with the number 10 brush. I am, in the space that I have, it's kind of hard for me to show you my painting, loading of the brush here, but anyhow, I'm going to begin with using, oh, I didn't put any licorice on my plate, sorry, with using the berry wine and a little bit of the licorice. I want mostly the berry wine, and for some reason I always seem to get it loaded too heavy with the black. Not a big fan of too much black in the center, but you can adjust that and you'll see how I do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, well, I got a little beyond myself here and I started at the wrong part. I want it just to do the smaller at the top. So here we go. I'm just going to push my brush down, bring it back up, and bring it over here. So it's down, and I don't lift my brush up until I'm done. Then I'm going to do another one over here and do the same thing. Pull it up and bring it down like that. Pretty easy so far, right? If you're new to my channel, that is the intent of my channel, is to keep the painting easy, simple, something that anybody could do. I don't want to make it difficult. I want people to paint. I want you to feel confident to create. Alright, so on this one I'm going to do 2, and come back up, bring it down, and come around. Alright, going to come over here, trying very hard not to touch my design on the paper. Up and down. So just very, very relaxing, very easy. Doesn't need to be difficult to be pretty. And keep in mind too, one of the nice things about painting on glass, very simple to redo if you don't like what you created. You just start again. No biggie, right? Alright, so now I'm going to come down here, and I kind of like them going, different directions and whatnot. If you don't like creating this as a vine, or kind of, if you just want to do the flowers with the leaves around them, that's fine too. Feel free to be creative however you want to be. You do not have to follow exactly what I'm doing. I want you to try and add your own touch to the designs. Love to see them. If you create, share them on my Facebook page. If you like this design when I'm done painting it, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get notified when I post something new. And share this video on your social network with all your family and friends. Very easy, just hit that share button that's underneath the video when you're done watching it. Simple, simple. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is take a break and hit it with the heat gun so that I can continue on with the next layer. I want to come up, so I'm trying to be very careful with that. And then I'm going to come here and do this one. I'm just lightly touching on it because I know that the paint is pulling up, so that's why I'm trying to be really careful with it, because I know that it's not wanting to do what I want it to do for some reason. Alright, so in here I'm going to just do a little blending stroke, push down, come up, push down, and go around like that. Okay. Like I said, painting on glass is a lot different than doing it on paper. Very, very different. So you have to really, like I said, I'm just taking my time and just lightly touch because I don't want to pull the paint up from underneath, because I know on this project for some reason it's wanting to do that. Some other projects it's not so much like that. So I'm not really sure why it's doing it. But anyways, it's working. Just have to be patient, right? And that's what I'm trying. Alright, so here we go on this one, just doing the same thing. On the second layer, I'm just trying to be really careful, like I mentioned. So I might be raising my brush up more than what I would typically do, because I don't want to pull the paint up. And that's one thing you're going to find when you're painting on glass. You just got to learn how to make adjustments. Now, just so that you know, I did clean the bottle, soap and water, and then went over it with rubbing alcohol just to make sure I got off all the grime and such that was on it, or if there was any left from washing or handling it. So I'm just doing very light strokes on it. Now, you know, there is a little cracking right here, so I just want to go over it a little bit. Just a little. Alright, got that. The next thing I'm going to do is take my Deerfoot Stippler. I am going to go into the fresh foliage, hitting the top with the fresh foliage, the base or the back of the brush with the, I forgot the name of this, pale yellow, should remember that. And I always, when I'm loading it, then I tap it off onto my plate or palette, whatever I'm using. And then I'm going to come in here and tap it in. Now if you want to use a different color combination, you can. Anytime I'm painting something, if you want to use a different color combination, by all means, please do. Because you aren't restricted to the colors I'm using. If you're just learning, make sure that you don't spend a lot of money, that you just use what you have on hand, if you have anything on hand, and you just go with that. I just don't like people to have to go out and put a bunch of money into, if they're getting new, starting into a new hobby or whatnot. Just do what you can, what you have on hand. Alright, next thing I'm doing on this is taking my liner brush, And I am going to just start doing some holes here around it. And you know, they can be big, little. If you want to mix it in with another color, you can. I'm going to stick with the white on this. And then just keep adding them as much as I want, or as little. If you want to just do it around the top, you want to do it around the bottom, do it around the whole thing, which is what I'm doing. And you see how fun? I just love this brush. Yeah, one thing neat about the fingernail brushes is that, you know, they're made for doing small designs, so they're awesome when you're trying to do more of the fine detail, just even on regular painting. And I am going to go through now. You don't have to do this part. I'm going to pretend like there was a center and some of it came up this way. If you don't want to add this part, feel free to leave it out, but I'm adding it because I just want to, you know, add some more detail to the bottle, or to the design, not to the bottle, but to the design. So just take a look, think about where you might have had this coming up. I mean, it could come up all around if you wanted it to. You could even add dots to this if you want. I'm not going to do that on this one. I am just going to do it like it's just coming out of this one, and it's coming out, and I'm just doing it very, very freely. You know, like it's just coming over from inside. Again, you can leave this part out, you can add this part, add dots to it, however you want to do it. Up to you. Alright, so I think we've got all of them. And then the next thing will be to take my number 6 brush, flat brush, and I'm going to load it into the grains, thicket, and the fresh foliage. If I want it to look a little bit more olive, I'll add that brown in, which is what I'm doing. And then I can even touch it into the pale yellow, lighten it up a little bit. You can even add some white to it if you want. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to start putting in my stem. Again, on this part, if you choose to want to leave this part out, you can, and just put your leaves around your flowers. I like to then keep adding more colors. The better coverage you get on your glass, the more durable your design will be. When you're painting on the wine bottles, of course that's not something that's going to be handled a lot, just like you would if you would be handling a wine glass or drinking glass of some sort. So it's not as concerning, but I still like to make sure it has good coverage regardless. I like it to be more opaque. So I will add a lot of different colors to it, different layers, to give it the consistency that I want it to be. Definitely, I like a little bit of the yellow in there. Definitely like that. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do is start putting in my leaves, now that I've got this in. Alright, so I'm just going to come up here. Again, I'm just making sure I've got the consistency that I want. Start putting them in. And I am very heavy on my leaves, so if you don't like that, then please make sure that you do the amount of leaves that you feel comfortable with or that you like. You don't have to do what I'm doing. And you can see that I'm still having some issues with the coverage, so as far as the paint wanting to pull up. So I'm just going to be really careful with that. If you don't want to put in your little veins like I'm doing, little stems, then don't do it. And just trying to do, again, I have to be concerned about the paint pulling up, so that's why I'm being real careful and maybe even doing some touching and pulling with my brush, because I want it to have good coverage, but I don't want to pull the paint up if I can avoid it. And I apologize, my air conditioning's coming on. I was trying to get this done before that happened, but I guess I didn't succeed. Oh well. It's fun though. I mean, I like painting on the bottles. Adding the lights to them, boy, it just gives it such a neat ambiance. You really can have just a nice little night light with these bottles, or you can leave the lights out, just have them as a decorative piece. However you want. Up to you. This one I am going to go like this. I like to reverse my colors a lot, where I have like dark or light on one side and then switch it around, do the opposite on the opposite side. Or you can have them all going in the same direction, it doesn't matter. Up to you. But pretty, right? Very pretty. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am just doing the front of the bottle. I am not doing the entire surface. But I'll tell you that when I do these bottles to sell, if they're like the wine bottles, I will do both sides, or the whole thing. Now my Jaeger bottles, no, I just do one side. I mean, they have a different shape to them, and I typically just leave them with the design on the front because of the way they're shaped. More than likely you're not going to, I mean, I guess on any of them you're probably not going to switch them around, but you might not even use the Jaeger bottles as a light. But see, I just like to come in here. I can wiggle it some. I'm just trying to be careful because I want the good coverage. That's exactly, you just have to learn how to do that. Wax paper is an awesome thing to practice on. I've shared that with you, that in other videos. Definitely a great surface because it's slick, so that mimics painting on bottles or painting on gloss in general. I just, you know, when you do a lot of the wiggling, you can have a tendency to pull the paint up. That's why I'm just kind of doing a lot of the carefully because I don't want that. I want it to be without those. Without those little breaks in the paint. So like on this one, I'm going to, and I can come over my flower petal a little bit, and then just tap it down as I go. If I want it to be a little bit thicker, I can go right back over it at the same time while it's still wet and do that, or I can give it drying time. Alright, so I'm just going to do a little stem into that because I kind of feel like the two paints coming together kind of give it a natural stem without having to paint that in. And then we'll do another one over here. I'm going to do it with all the lightness on the outside. And again, I want to make sure it's covered well. So we're going to make sure I have enough paint on my brush. And then just keep doing it until you get it to where the way you like it. Pretty simple so far. Alright, we'll do a few more and then we will be done. But I don't want to get too carried away, as I know I can with my leaves. Definitely a fun design. So throw in some lights and you'll be good to go. Good to go. Alright. Let me do one more in here. You can just do some basic one-stroke leaves. That's what these are. I mean, they all are really, but just some simple. Then you can even do some just little pulls where you just kind of go like this. Do some coming out through the flower. And you'll see why I'm adding these here in a second. I'll pull some over here, maybe even do another leaf out this way, since I like my leaves. Alright, so let's give this a stop. What I'm going to do is take my stylus and start putting in just some dots. Now these can be looked at as maybe possible little filler flowers. You can do it with other colors besides white. For some reason in my latest videos I seem to be doing a lot of these in white. I really like dots, and I think the dots kind of just really give it a finish. Oh, there it goes. It's off. Yay! Again, sorry about that. I know it can be hard to hear me when that's running. And if you don't want to be too heavy-handed with the dots, because I'm just like the leaves, I can get kind of crazy with the dots too. And you don't have to, or you don't even have to add them. Pure and simple. Don't even have to add them if you don't want. Yep. And just look, you know, how pretty. Imagine some lights in this and sitting up on a shelf, on your mantle, in a bathroom. You have guests over, and make it a night light. And you'll, you know, it's so easy to add the lights now that they have the wine bottle cork looking lights. Very simple. And I think I just put that into pink. That kind of looks pretty though with some pink in there, doesn't it? Alright, let's do some over this direction. And then we'll be ready to be finished. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put those down below. Alright, I think we're going to stop right there. I hope you like this bottle. I think it's beautiful. Once again, if you do like it, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and before you leave, please hit that share button underneath the video. Share this on your social network with all of your family and friends. I would appreciate it. Thanks again so much for taking time to view my videos. Feel free to stick around and watch some more of them. And until the next time, you stay safe and healthy and have a good one.